say all your nerves are channeled through your mustache, so I do this to calm myself down before my sentence. So, everyone having a nice time tonight? Yeah? Nobody, huh? Well, so I went to a Marauders game recently. I don't know if anyone's ever been, but if you haven't, there's only ever around 13 people who ever go. So security usually isn't tight. Last one I went to, I walked through the gates, and of course, hear a beep, beep, beep. You know, they pull me to the side, and I get it. You know, they don't know me. They don't know what I got. They don't know my long history of hiding things in my prison wallet. What if I was here to make those 13 people, into another statistic? They don't know. So he's patting me down and lifting up my shirt, sees my tramp stamp on my back, looking at me for a minute. He goes, "Son, you're gonna have to drop him." What? What in the hell? I'm not about to take my pants off for this guy. I'm no gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There just ain't no sugar in this tank. So there I am, standing with my pants off for him. Ladies, take it easy. It was just a cold night. It's not my usual performance. And then another security guard walks over and he goes, "Hey, what the hell's going on here?" And the guy who's patting me down immediately makes a run for the gate. Turns out he wasn't a security guard at all. Which I guess I should have realized when there wasn't any metal detectors. He made the beeping noise with his mouth. And I was later arrested for public indecency. So. Speaking of being caught with your pants down, yes, as I'm sure most of you are probably wondering, I did go to college for a brief point in time. One of my more prominent memories was of a lady, of course. She invited me over for a study session. I knew what she wanted. She had no intention of studying, she just wanted a piece of this ass. So I said, "Okay, I'll play your little game." So I went, and there's some books out on the table, which I thought was a cute touch, mostly because I can't read. The studying shortly moved to the bedroom, all very predictable. She leaves the room for a moment and drags her nails along the door all seductive-like, so I thought what any reasonable man would think. She's going to come back in, and she's probably going to be naked. So I did a little Winnie the Pooh maneuver, left my shirt on, and I was completely naked from the waist down, mostly to hide my tramp stamp. And she walks back in with her aunt, and she goes, "Hey Sam, I'd like to introduce you to..." So it turns out I was sorely mistaken. She did not, in fact, want a piece of this ass. She did just want to study. Now I'm not allowed within 100 yards of her or her family. The worst part about dealing with the cops in the respect of a restraining order or being arrested is having to explain why you have two driver's licenses. On one of them, I'm Sam Martinez, and on the other one, I have myself as Charlie Sheen. And that's mostly because Florida now requires you to sign in Pornhub with an ID. And I do that so frequently, that's why I have the second one. You know what I'm talking about. Well, moving on. A friend of mine's really big into EDM, and he invited me to a weekend festival once. And I've never seen more drugs and half-naked people in my life than I did in that weekend. The drugs by choice, and the half-naked people, it's obviously against my will. The only girl I did meet, I could have sworn she told me her name was Chlamydia. Not the results I'd be getting onto my paper at the clinic, but I had a sore misunderstanding of that. They also had a sweet tea stand there. I'm a fan, so got me one, and I'm taking a sip of this sweet tea, and I look at my buddy, and I'm like, "Dude, this tastes like shit." And I don't know if anyone here is a fan of shrooms. Nobody, huh? But I'm reading the can, and right on it says, "Enjoy your trip," with a picture of a mushroom next to it. Shit. Luckily, there were no shrooms in it. But the oddest thing happened. A little goblin follows me around for the next 2 days. And that following Monday morning, I woke up next to the same damn security guard from the ballgame. I'm not gay. I didn't like it. Anyhow, it looks like I have to wrap it up. Although I usually don't. Just ask chlamydia. Thank you guys very much for your time. Have a good night.